everybody. This is Dorothy with Your Makeup Expert, and welcome to our YME Beauties. I cannot wait to introduce you to this month's YME Beauty. I'm telling you, she is one of my favorite people in the world. I love her just as much, almost, as my daughters. And the only reason there's an almost is because I haven't had the time with her that I've had with my girls. But I just want to introduce you to one of the most amazing women I know, Miss Holly Joyce Murray. Hello, Miss Holly. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, Dorothy. Thanks for having me. And I definitely love you and your girls so much too.
I am so glad that you are a part of this YME Beauty campaign. I really feel like you bring the truth of real beauty inside and out. I mean, I feel like you just kind of embody that in a whole different way, and that you really cultivate that and give that to other women, encouraging them to do the same. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your history, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Okay, I would love to. And by the way, I do love the campaign that you're doing. Redefining beauty is so necessary for this Instagram culture. And I am not against Instagram. It's beautiful. I love it. I spend time on there. But we also need to learn what true beauty is. So a little bit about me. My name is Holly, as you said. I'm originally a Texas girl, born and bred, grew up here, went to school here, same school from kindergarten to senior year. And then I hopped over to Texas A&M University. I don't know if there are any other Aggies on here. And I got my degree in psychology. I went on to move to Tennessee to get my master's degree in marriage and family therapy. And I stepped into the nonprofit world. I worked as a counselor for a couple of years in a high school setting. And then from there, I went to full-time ministry. Then about a year ago, I made a big transition and I started a business on the side. In addition to being in ministry, I stepped out into this coaching business. So I do life coaching, and specifically I'm a success coach and I am a business strategist. So I began to work with women who God had put a dream or a desire in their heart, and maybe they needed some clarity or they needed some accountability on how to get there. And then also I work with female entrepreneurs and business owners and business women. So as of, I want to say October-ish, it was kind of an interesting transition, but I stepped into my business full time. So that's a little bit about me.
What inspires you to do that? I mean, what inspires you to do what you do? I can understand like the psychology and counseling, but that transition from counseling into coaching, what inspired you to do that?
You know, Dorothy, I didn't always have the person I needed. So I wanted to become the person I needed to somebody else. And that was a big part of my story. I thought, where are all the mentors? I need a female who can tell me how to do this, how to step out into this big dream that I have. And let me be honest with you, it hasn't always been clear. And it's still not totally clear, but that's where faith comes in. You take a step, you listen, you take a step, you listen. I think Martin Luther King Jr. said to take that step and the staircase would appear. So that's a little bit of that mindset shift, that you have to understand the how is not your business. You're not always going to know the how. You're not always going to know the details, but that's we're trusting the process. And then hire somebody, find a mentor who's doing what you want to do.
This is actually my first year having a business coach. I have been in business for almost 20 years now, 15 to 20 years. I'll do the math later. But taking it to the next level and pushing it into the direction I'm wanting it to go, I thought, I'm not doing this the hard way again. Like I did the first round the hard way. I'm not doing this the hard way. So I did. I hired a business coach, and she has been amazing, and it has definitely streamlined my focus and streamlined my progress. So yeah, definitely find your coach.
Don't you wish you would have done it sooner?
Girl. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And nobody does it for you, Dorothy. I was the one who had to say, wow, okay, there's a desire in my heart. To me, if you are a Christ follower, and I know everybody's got different beliefs that's going to watch this, but to me, if you're a Christ follower, Psalms 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord, he'll give you the desires of your heart. We have renewed desires. Holly on her own wouldn't think to go be a life coach or a business coach. Just wouldn't happen. Like, I never had any aspirations for that growing up. So I knew that there had to be a spark there inside of me that I needed to follow. I needed to follow the light that was shining. And so I took a step and I took a step and I took a step. And here we are today. So if anyone's out there and you think something inside of you is saying, hey, I should do this, or hey, I should do that, just take a step. What's it going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anything. And then once you take a few steps to explore it, commit, do something about it.
Okay, so tell me, what has been one of the biggest obstacles or challenges that you've personally faced that you have overcome that really kind of changed who you are or changed the trajectory of your life to get you where you are now?
Absolutely. We're going to jump in the deep end. For me, I am actually a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. And I know that that's a really intense subject, and we're really not going to go all the way there just because we don't need to. But as you can imagine, it cultivated a compassion in me. I have a heart for people who are hurting. I have a heart for people who are unsure how to find their way. And it also has led me to have a heart for the women that I work with in coaching. Let me explain. Having gone through that, boundaries were unclear for me. And there's a couple of different ways that the boundary spectrum can go. And if you don't have boundaries, you can either go off into addiction. Many times we see people who struggle with addiction. Many women struggle with addiction to prescription pills, or maybe they turn to alcohol, whatever, a sexual relationship, however it looks. For me, I didn't go to the addiction side of things. I went to the opposite end, which is codependency. Mm-hmm. And actually, codependency is addiction too. It's just addiction to people. And for me, I developed, I would say, a very pleasing personality because I needed you to like me. It wasn't about like, oh, I want you to like me. Everybody wants everybody to like them. I needed you to like me. And so I was going to make sure you liked me. And if you didn't like me, I wasn't going to sleep at night. So as you can see, that poses a few problems, but it became a strength for me because now I see women every single day that they are trying to fit into who they should be, whether that's a mode that they've put upon themselves, or whether it's a story that they got from social media, or whether it's from church, or whether it's from their family. Whatever it is, they're trying to live up and be what everybody else wants them to be and what everybody else needs them to be, instead of being true to their own identity.
That is beautiful. I love that. So much of that has been my life experience also. So everything in me as you're talking about is going, yes, yes.
It's beautifully messy because it's a mess. Like I was a mess. And my life was a mess for a long time because I operated without boundaries, without healthy ones, and I operated in codependency. It was a mess.
Okay, so what does beauty mean to you? I want to hear your definition because we're redefining it, but what does it mean to you?
I think that beauty is from the inside out, as we've stated, and beauty comes from your identity. I think you need to know who you are, and you need to love yourself. And I often tell people, don't just love yourself, like yourself, because newsflash, honey, everywhere you go, there you are. You're always going to be around. You need to learn how to enjoy your own company. You need to learn how to be okay when you're alone. And it is incredibly freeing. And it is the most beautiful place you can be, the most beautiful life you can have when you can just go have a dinner all by yourself. It's a beautiful space when you can be okay to be yourself and figuring out what self is, because it's going to change in your life. And self isn't defined by a certain role. However, our roles can play into that. So for me, I have learned that naturally I'm going to be an encourager. I am going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a coach. That's me. And I've been that my whole life. Even in the counseling realm, counseling is needed. I go to counseling. I think everybody should have counseling. But counseling's about healing your past. Coaching's about identifying your future, setting goals, having the accountability, support, and encouragement to get there. So you need to figure out who you are and be yourself. And that's beautiful.
I absolutely love that definition of beauty. And I love that you explain the difference between counseling and coaching. How do you get to where you're going if you can't pinpoint where you've been that's made you where you are?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think they're both vital and they go hand in hand. And I've actually had people that approach me for coaching, and I say, I really think that you could utilize some counseling first. It's not anything to be ashamed of. We need to take that mental health stigma away.
So true. I love that. I love that. Okay. So I know I could sit here and talk to you forever, but I told them we'd keep it short and sweet. And so tell us, if they want to get some coaching from you, where can they find you? How can they follow you? How can they become a fangirl like I am?
You're so cute. Thank you. The best way to stay in communication with me is through my email list, and which is www.hollyjoycemurray.com. That's HOLLY and then Joyce and then MURRAY. So sometimes people forget the A. You can sign up for my email list, and so I stay in contact with you guys there. And then I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, and it's at Holly Joyce Murray.
Thank you so much. Now, real quick, when we do these interviews, I ask you a whole slew of questions and put you on the spot to answer last minute. But wanted to see, do you have any questions for me?
So my question is, what inspires you daily to allow women to shine in their own beauty?
That's a great question. Okay, that's a hard question. but truth.
My bad. It's the coach in me asking
I know,
these big
right?
questions.
Like I'm not gonna get a soft pitch. She's gonna pull out the hard ball there. So for me, I just feel like every woman has a light inside of them. I feel like every woman has beauty that is inside of them that they were born with, and that sometimes life tries to muddle that. Sometimes we don't even see it. We don't know it's there. We've covered it up. Other people have covered it up with junk and with hard life circumstances and issues. And I just feel like if we can encourage each other to do the work, we can encourage each other to simply look at who we are authentically from ground zero, rawly, and then decide, is that something I want to change or need to change? Not because everyone else said that I needed to, but is that truly who I am made to be? Or is that a trait that I picked up that I don't necessarily like, and I don't necessarily want to be that kind of person? And I think for me, my defining moment was, I thought, when I die, what do I want people to say about me? Who do I want to be described as? And I think every person has to really look at that. And so on a daily basis, I want women to know and to understand that they have that beauty, and it deserves to be celebrated. It deserves to be cultivated, and it deserves to be shown to the world. This world needs women, and it needs the beauty that we bring to it.
I agree. That's a great answer.
I love women. I used to not. Now, if you were to ask me about 8 years ago, or 10 years ago, do you like women? I'd have been absolutely not. And that was because I didn't like the woman I was. I was looking at the reflection of who I was.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Holly, so much for spending this time with me. If you want to get more information about Holly, follow her on Instagram, or go check her out on her website and sign up for her email address. I thank you, ladies, so much for joining us at YME Beauties. And if you know of a woman that really embodies beauty from the inside out and redefines it in a different way and has something to bring to this world to share, go ahead and sign them up for the YME Beauty campaign. We are still taking applications, and we want to see you there.